Welcome to On Blast, a division of Simply Raw News. I am UDIYAH, and this commentary is on understanding white privilege in America. In this sequence, I will attempt to express why, when, and how we perceive white privilege. I believe it's necessary for this issue to be brought to the forefront, discussed, and investigated to uncover the root cause and basis for white privilege, and also related to the drastic events happening in the news today. White privilege exists because when whites are born, they experience a sense of entitlement, which is contrary to what blacks experience after their birth. Blacks acquire a sense of non-entitlement as evidenced by how blacks are viewed in American history and how we are defined by others. Black children do not feel a sense of equal entitlement in this country because they see they are not equally represented in most media advertisements or even cartoons. Most in general, as a rule, we maintain separate worship, separate burial sites, separate communities, separate cultures, separate diets, usually married within our own race, separate schools, separate hair salons, separate barbershops, and are dealt a separate form of justice. Black people have witnessed a double standard time and time again because we tend to get a different result. From birth, blacks view our purpose in this country largely surrounds sports, entertainment, and our music. Subsequently, it's not our fault that we develop a sense of an unvalued, unfair existence. Black children and adults will mimic styles of other races. Here is one example of this, that good hair, bad hair syndrome, that light skin, dark skin syndrome. We have seen studies whereby our black babies at times will prefer the white doll as the good doll and the black doll as the bad one. Not their fault though. They mimic what they see on TV. Black parents will buy them book bags with their favorite white cartoon image on it or some white superhero. Okay, you say, what does this have to do with white privilege? We are a byproduct of the white privilege phenomenon. They view blacks as a subculture, subhuman, and sub-citizen. Children will grow up and feel less entitled because of the acts we unknowingly perpetuate on them. So we see white privilege as the way it's supposed to be because some feel not entitled, not good enough, not worthy, not accepted. So even why bother to compete? We as a people see envy, jealousy, and strife as a daily routine. White folk will never understand this and tell us to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. But we wear a different boot altogether. In most cases, blacks are trapped in injustice, trapped in a watered down education, trapped in the blight of neglected communities, trapped in poor housing, and trapped enduring various degrees of unsubstantiated jail time. Black and brown people, blacks, Mexicans, Hispanics, Haitians, Jamaicans, although they are American citizens, media will refer to them as thugs, aliens, super predators, insurgents, gangs, spics, wetbacks, and niggers. We were identified as refugees when we cry for aid upon suffering environmental disasters. The cop that recently suffocated a black man in Minnesota had hundreds of officers protecting his residence from thugs, as the media stated. And now we are protesting in the streets during a deadly pandemic plague, again hoping justice is served. The President of the United States calls protesters thugs, and he is documented as using a historically racist phrase, and I quote, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts." He also said, "Don't be so nice to them," advising cops to hit them in the head when you put them in the car. Also suggesting we go back to the communistic places from which we came. Go back where? He also said, "There are very fine people on both sides." When a black sports figure took a knee, our president said, "Get that sumbitch off the field for taking a knee." Do you remember that? They refer to our acts as lawlessness. But why does the media not apply this same term to diminish the murderous acts perpetuated by cops? The recent initial autopsy of the black man choked and deprived of air for 9 minutes, according to the pathologist's examination, it was documented. There is no evidence to prove asphyxiation or strangulation. Are we at war? Black men are being strategically hunted like dogs. When in history, have you ever seen a battle won where there is no bloodshed? I must admit, as a former officer myself and in defense of all the hundreds I know and have worked with professionally and those officers in my immediate family, I can honestly say these acts are not typical of most police officers and sheriffs that I knew. But this is a new breed, a new day, and a new time. I personally wonder if these cops that commit these acts could be planted and advocates of a Klan-based group countrywide with supporters in various ranks in the chain of command up to and including through our justice system. The reason I say this is because we have seen officers commit these exact acts perpetuated numerous times in many different states. The question is, why and how are they committing the exact same similar acts from state to state? You hear them say the same words: stop resisting, setting the stage for a fatal resolution. Well, for me, I honestly now am concerned there is a unified group of racist cops, a presence of a systemic racist group who are trained to assault and hunt our black brothers and sisters. Their aggression is the same from the initial encounter to the use and ending in a deadly force outcome. I end by saying, stay aware, stay conscious, stay prayed up, and try to protect your sons and daughters as well. Your comments are appreciated, and thank you for watching.